What's up, everybody? It's 8:01, Andrew. 8:01. Is this Judge Smalls made Judge Smalls mode? Well, we're waiting. It's Pulverize. It's Jeremy Pablo Makeup. Hey, good evening. Well, we're waiting. Delaware's in the house. Don't forget, my man Turtle Boy is out of jail, so he'll be going live at 9 o'clock. Turtle Boy was served 60 days in jail for how we got my man Tom from Michigan's in the house, right on, Columbus, Ohio. Turtle Boy had the hey Frenchy Mama, how dare you? Turtle Boy had the gumption to challenge police in arresting of a lady for murder. And so Turtle Boy, it's YouTube. So check it out after we're done here. So top of the morning to you, La Croix. Oh, that's good. It's called lemon. Right now they got Spindrift or some of that BOGOs on sale at Publix. So if you live in the South, you can go to Publix and get some spin. I don't know what it's called. We got Pennsylvania in the house. Right on, Fort Worth. Hey, Brian. North Tejas. There's Bo. Right on, Bo. Yeah, so Bo, I don't know what the hell's going on, dude. If you just email me if you want, your $50 back. Happy to do that for you. I don't know what the hell's going on. It's freaking nuts. I had another guy. I'm having a hard time getting in the right capital too. So I don't know. I mean, the vast majority of people is fine, but there's always a guy. So this guy's like, I don't know what's happening. So I email Right Capital and like hopefully they can figure it out. But get Indiana in the house. Josh is getting tuned up on the seltzer. I don't think it's a seltzer, is it? It's just a sparkling water. Oh yeah. Are you in San Diego? You're not in San Diego. I thought you were in San Jose. Virginia, right on. Long Island, what Long Island? Long Island, Maine? Long Island, New York? What Long Island? Yeah, it's an acquired taste, Fast Eddie's acquired taste. You're in South Dakota? Are you the only Asian guy in South Dakota? Are there any other Asians in South Dakota? Leonardtown, Maryland, right on. We got some Maryland. We got Robert Scott in the house. Oh, look at that puppy dog. Why'd you move to South Dakota? Okay, gotcha. Philippines in the house. Gangster from Connecticut's in the house, right on. Look at CB's running. Look at Nora. Hey, Bruce K. Paso. Bill Scott, Virginia Beach. Look at Bill Scott and his better half. Much better half. Long Island, New York, unfortunately. Western Nebraska, damn, right on. Walt from Oregon, right on. Western Nebraska, cool. So don't forget, my man Turtle Boy will be going live at 9 to talk about his experience in jail. Let's see, Minnesota. All the other Asian people in South Dakota I know work in the restaurants. Really? Oh, man. Hey, 34 years. Right on, man. That's awesome, Bruce. And with a face like that, you should be grateful someone stayed 34 years with you. You know what I'm saying? You got a face for the radio. That was pretty funny. All right, so I want to start Northeast Fort Worth, right? North Fort Worth. I was reading this right here from 1983. I just want to kind of real quick go into this, and I want to go to a couple other things on financial. But Judy Bay, another Michigan. Anyone from Massachusetts here? Because I've been reading up and listening to these these estate planning attorneys from Massachusetts talk about the estate tax in Massachusetts. So just as an FYI, even if you're not domiciled in Massachusetts, if you own property in Massachusetts, let's say you're domiciled in Maine and you own property in Massachusetts, say Cape Cod, you could still be subject to Massachusetts estate tax. Isn't that crazy? New Jersey, no massholes allowed, right on. It's acquired. I don't know. It's sparkling water, dude. So I wouldn't say that's a soda. It's just sparkling water. Jill! I think Trump got smoked by Nikki, didn't he? What was the final score in Trump versus Nikki? Ugh, Nikki. Why do these people do this, man? It's like they kill themselves in their street cred for the Republican Party. I just don't understand it, man. It's like no one is going to respect Nikki Haley anymore. It's crazy. I don't get it. DeSantis got out in time to save he should never ran. DeSantis should never ran. We got another San Diego. Oh, that's right. Homer's from is not at San Diego. He's in South Dakota. But DeSantis got out with his intact, his butt intact. But Nikki, I just don't know what the hell, man. It's crazy. All right. So we got a couple people here on Facebook. The vast majority here at Heritage Wealth Planning, about 10 people on Josh Scanlon. So if you're on the Josh Scanlon YouTube channel and you're not seeing the comments or on Facebook, it's because the bulk is going to be here on this channel, Heritage Wealth Planning. Alexander, Virginia. Yeah, right in. Hey, I'm Carolyn Cummings. I think I know you, Carolyn Cummings, don't I? Don't we know each other? Not from necessarily Alexander. Why'd you move to Alexandria from Mass? Why? It's Illinois. Look at Daisy and Peanut. LaCroix or water from the backyard pool, same difference. Yeah, it's just obviously you don't have the level of sophistication I do. That's all there is to it. The Massachusetts family court, you can sue for future inheritances and really future. That's crazy. Trump won by 17. I'm not sure. I like that guy in Argentina, okay, but man, he seems to have a big. I don't know. It's kind of like. We'll see. I mean, look, it's better than anybody else. Don't get me wrong. This whole. Yeah, I'm not gonna say anything. Air Force took me to the area and I stayed. Right? Okay. Yeah. No, we used to live in 21 East Braddock Road in Alexandria. That's where I first moved when I got in the Army. My dad was living. Then my dad bought a house at 206 East Duncan, right off of Mount Vernon Ave in Alexandria. Jeremy says he's curious. He's curious. He's like, I think I like the ladies, but I'm curious. I like 7-Up Tropical. Yeah, but it can't have that sugar. It's just so bad for it, man. The Alexander's pretty nice. I'm not gonna lie. The Alexander is pretty cool. They're trying to put the bullets in the. They used to want to have the Redskins down there in the Potomac Yards. Now they're gonna try to put the bullets and the caps there. And I just the guy from El Salvador, he's crushing. Hope Trump doesn't appoint a Republican. Yeah, well, I could not agree more. 100%. Yeah, it's gonna be better this time around. I just think Trump. I don't want to get too deep in this right now, but I just think Trump got blindsided by the Republican Party. I think they said when he won, he's like, okay, I'll just, these guys are gonna, we're all on the same team. They're gonna support me. And it turns out they weren't on the same team. They were on the Uniparty. And they, again, as I said on the other night on our live stream during on Locals, I was doubting Trump after COVID. Big time. And I still look, man. He's not God. Like there's people like, you think Trump's God? I said, no, I don't think Trump's God. There is no God but God. It's so stupid. Do I want Trump date my daughter or going out with my wife? No. You know what I'm saying? But I know the facts are that Trump was the only politician ever to lose money going into office, and not only lose money, lose the vast majority of his holding. The whole thing's just stupid. And the only reason for that is because he is a destructive challenge to the orthodox, and the Republicans and the Democrats alike like the current situation. They like it. That pays them money, that makes them live large. And when someone comes in there to disrupt that, it makes them very, very nervous. That's why they never went after McCain. They never went after Bob Dole. They never went after George W. Bush. You know what I'm saying? They all were part of the team. But Trump differently. They go after Trump like stink on poop. And that just tells you right there that he's not part of the crew. And I tell you, the whole thing with COVID pissed me off. That whole thing, I said, what? And I'm still pissed by it. I'm not going to lie to you. I forgive and forget, but I forgive, I don't forget. But with that said, the facts are that they're going after Trump like they've never gone after him. But it's insane. And that just shows you how threatened they are by him. It's just a fact. There's one big party, we ain't invited. Yes, sir. El Salvador, yeah, but can we trust that? I don't know if I can trust that. 85% approval rate. Yeah, I don't know, man. It sounds like Saddam Hussein. And then we got massive inflation now in Argentina. You know what I'm saying? So we'll just see what happens, man. There's nothing we can do about it. Nasty anti-Trump whiner in chat, and I'm not so sure, man. I'm not so sure we're gonna get that here live. Because what happens is a lot of the woke people and stuff, they're hit and run. They just get in and get out, and here they don't want to get they'll just get destroyed. You know what I'm saying? But when they can comment on a YouTube video without having to actually, they can just comment and walk out without. It doesn't take you're not being challenged or anything like that. But when you're commenting here, it's like, oh, people are going to hold you accountable, and they don't want that for sure. All right, so we got. I just want to share this with you. You guys will get a kick out of this. So this is from a professor who was at Duke, written in 1983. And the title is, we're not going to spend a lot of time on this, but I think it's interesting. Exactly. North Korean has a 99% approval rating. The 1% was promptly dealt with after. Exactly. The structure of uncertainty in the use of non-transferable pensions as a mobility reduction device. All right. During the initial periods of employment, workers typically make contributions to the pension but acquire no earned rights to the benefits, thus effectively reducing their wage rate and imposing a transaction cost on job changes. All right. As their experience increases, the time at work increases, these contributions are coupled with at least a partial benefit, earned benefit rights. I just hang tight in there. This is going to make sense in just a second. But again, workers typically make contributions to the pension but acquire no earned rights to the benefits. All right. This is again written 1983. But check this out. Before the advent of the ERISA, the Employee Retirement Income Security Act of 1974, ERISA, the majority of workers, 70%, who left their jobs voluntarily or involuntarily, forfeited their pension benefits. So if you had 100 people leave their jobs, either because health issues or they just quit, 70% of them forfeited their pension benefits. So all these freaking people, oh, it's so much better with pensions. It wasn't better with pensions. I don't know why this is so hard to understand. I'm not saying pensions are bad. All these people living in the past, it was so much better back then. Do you not hear me? Before the advent of ERISA, the majority of workers who left their jobs, 70%, lost their entire pension benefit. And that's voluntary or involuntary. ERISA now requires full pension vesting after 10 years of service. But for the high turnover group of inexperienced workers, a primary implication of pensions is that they impose a fixed cost on job changes, i.e., if you don't want to work there for long because you're like, man, my boss sucks, I'm being harassed or something like that, and you're saying, I'm going to move at some point, I want to get a different job, it's a huge cost to you. It's a fixed cost because you're going to lose your pension benefit. That is crazy. Check this out. Workers with fewer than 10 years of experience forfeit all pension benefits if they leave the firm. These fixed costs will reduce worker turnover, an effect that has strong empirical support. Yeah, they're reducing worker turnover because they're basically forcing workers to stay at a crappy old job. There is, however, a trade-off since provision for increased resources in one's post-retirement years reduces one's pre-retirement income, which might also have served as an insurance function to the extent that it promoted stability in the pre-retirement earnings path. So again, this idea that pensions just came for free. I'm hearing some people quote that. I saw somebody quote that there should be mandated pensions. That employers should the government should mandate all employers have pensions. It's freaking insanity. Because what you're doing is you're trading off today's dollars for future dollars. That's literally what you're doing. You're saying, I don't want to get paid today. I'd rather have that money in the future buy a pension. All right, let's keep going. The deferred pension is deferred compensation. It's literally what it is. The deferred compensation structure of pensions will reduce labor turnover by leading more stable employees to self-select into the firm. So for people who are not willing to move, not willing to change firms, those people will go into a firm that has pensions because they're not trying to change anyway. Second, once at the firm, workers' incentive to switch employers will be reduced by the transaction costs, again, by losing their pension. All right, let's keep going. The reduced mobility represents a beneficial labor market function from the standpoint of the employer. But if a worker is trapped in a job he would like to leave, it has implications to him that might be quite different. Again, the pension is a handcuff to keep you at your crappy old job for future benefits that you don't get today. Again, not saying it's bad. If you like your crappy old job, more power to you. I get so frustrated when people say, "Oh my goodness, it was so much better in the old days." It wasn't. It wasn't. Um, it wasn't. All right, it's just one other thing here. I was reading this. I was like, "Holy crap, this is so true." So let me just hold on just a second. I'll share the last comment. All right. We know from previous work that the use of deferred pay pensions bias self-selection towards more stable workers. Unstable workers, those who want to leave for brighter pastures, find these jobs less attractive because they have a larger chance of losing much of their pay by quitting before the pension is received. In a world where long-term contracts are not binding on workers, the option of quitting increases the value of greater initial uncertainty about job outcomes. So the point here, the whole point of why am I saying this? Because the point is, at the end of the day, when you sacrifice your back in the old days, the reason why there's so much turnover now relative to before is because there were more pensions. I mean, that's just a fact. No one's going to disagree with that. There were more pensions. You had to stay at that job, that employer, for a long time to get the pension. Thus, you weren't going to turn over, even if you're being harassed, even if the job sucked, even if your boss was freaking supporting Planned Parenthood. You're like, I don't care. I'm not leaving. No matter what happens, I'm not leaving. So everyone says, oh, corporations don't take care of their employees as well. Well, employees are also moving quicker too, because we can job hop to make more money. In fact, there's tons of studies. The people who leave to new jobs get paid more than the people who are already at that job. It's very, very interesting, actually. So if you just stay and you put your head down and say, I'm going to stay at this company for 25 years, you're leaving money on the table relative to what other people who are new to that company are getting. That's just a fact. Everybody knows this. So what happens is if you're going from Vanguard to Fidelity, you're going to get more money than the guy in the same job as the guy who's just stayed at Fidelity, stayed at Vanguard, or stayed at Fidelity, whatever. So you're going from Vanguard to Fidelity. Fidelity will pay you more than the guy who just stayed at Fidelity. We know this. 100%. It's crazy. So you're being rewarded by being a job hopper. You're being penalized by staying there. And on top of that, without a pension too, it's like, what's the point? And people are like, no loyalty to the company. Well, hell, the company doesn't have any loyalty to you either. In fact, he even talks about what companies would do is they'd lay you off right before your pension vested because they don't want to have to pay it out, which led to the arrest to begin with because people are losing their jobs, their pensions because they got laid off right before the pension vested. Anyway, I hate this idea that it's so much better back then. It wasn't better back then. It wasn't. It's just not. In fact, it was worse. It's better now. You have more mobility, more freedom, 100%. And freedom's a good thing. Now, some people like freedom. They don't like the idea of saying, they don't. Hey, well, it sucks for you, man. If you got skills, you should be happy in this environment right now. Yeah, so Jill's at hers 32 years for my pension, 100%. Absolutely. And there are some years you probably want to jump off a bridge. And that's fine. Again, this isn't a slight on pensions. It's not. What I'm doing here is I'm just saying the people who are negative about the current state of retirement, the current state of America, just go pound sand. I get so sick of the negativity about everything. It's so bad. And Sean says he'll be in this for 30 years when I leave. That's absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with that. You have to job hop in tech. Otherwise, you'll be way underpaid. Competent people always move 100%. And that doesn't mean Jill and Sean Maddox, who didn't move around, weren't competent. But in this new environment, competent people move around. They have to move around to get paid. It's just all there is to it. The lady I know is leaving her job 3 years short for 30 years. She's losing 30% of what the pension is. Yeah, I was just talking to a guy, was it yesterday or 2 days ago? Same kind of thing. It's why are you retiring at 60 instead of 55 or something like that? He goes, because I'm already lose. If I retire at 60, I already lose 20% of my full benefit. If I retire at 55, I lose like 40% or something like that. Left Green Machine Company at start of COVID, crap little job that paid well, took my pension, never felt I had to stay. And that's the nice thing now. Now you can take your pension as a rollover lump sum. That's the nice thing. Now the drawback is the interest rate so much higher, your lump sum payout is much lower than what it was. I mean, a lot of people don't recognize that, but the lower the interest rates, the higher your lump sum is. The higher the interest rates, the lower your lump sum is, and so that's why the pensions that's much more valuable right now. But you're not necessarily vested. Oh, I got burped because look, apparently Penelope and Jeremy think it tastes like pool water. Yeah, because pool water that I peed in, and my pee tastes like coconuts. And so this is like lemon coconut, like my pee water. You know what I'm saying? I pee in my pool Tastes like coconuts. Huh? Stop it more to you. Oh, yeah. Yeah, here you go. So Jill says, I felt good working for the company I work for, my values line. Absolutely nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with it all. That's great. The question is, what if you don't feel good? What if you work for BlackRock? Ugh. Who wants to work there? Um, from the start, it's personal financial plan, no games. Pablo probably he doesn't like to swim. It's crazy. Pablo does not like to swim. By the way, the intuitive machine's lunar landing is on the moon. Okay. It might well be. I don't know. Alex says LaCroix. No, he doesn't say LaCroix makes you gay. He says there is stuff in the whatever he says about that makes you gay. And it's valid what he said, by the way. Yeah, it's funny. I haven't looked that much into it, but we're watching on the news yesterday. My wife and I were watching this animation of the thing. I said it's so stupid. I mean, it's like why they got an animation, and it's like, and the animation had this joke. I don't want to get into it. The is in Studio A. Um, Save money and be your own central bank. Provide your own pension. 100%, man. Buy the lander tipped over. I just even if it look, man, my man Liberty's I've been busting on him for years now. But even if it were on the moon, I just still want to know why don't we put people on there? I mean, you could buy tickets from Pan Am. You should look up Pan Am tickets to the moon. Pan Am was selling tickets to go to the moon after the original moon landing. It's funny, man. Anyway, AI lander video. Life is fleeting. I'm 49, saving 60% of my income. Goal is to retire ASAP. Enjoy the second half. Well, okay, that's a great segue to what I want to go into right now. It's funny, just real quick on the moon stuff. So when I asked about why we're not putting people on the moon, all the guys would say, well, we don't need to. We already need it. We found out what we need to know. I was like, I can't believe it's like, I'd have people tell me that we don't need to go back to the moon. We've already known everything. We don't need to spend the money. And yet here we are. And I know this is a private thing, but the whole thing is just so stupid. Oh my goodness. It's okay. I get it. But Jeremy, stop. Would you stop giving me money, Jeremy? All right. Well, actually, this is a good way to give me money. I'm looking for a new Jeremy. Can we say this out loud? I don't know if I want to say much more than this, man. Anyone here have connections in the cyber career field? Oh, I bet a ton of people do, Jeremy. A ton of people do because lots of people I know are in that cyber career field for sure. So I don't know. Should we? I don't know, Jeremy. You want us to share your info or what? You want us to share your info? My wife worked at the U.S. Bank for 10 years, decades ago. She'll get $500 a month to starting at 65. They already have sent her a lump sum spousal option. So this guy says, Jeremy, if you want a cybersecurity job, get certified. Me and I'm leaving. I don't get what that means, John. What does me and I'm leaving mean? So I can say your information stuff, Jeremy? Is that what you're saying? I don't understand. I don't get what you're saying. There's Kevin Festner. There it is. Recall 2000 Space Odyssey, Pan Am flew to the space wheel into the moon. That's funny, man. That's funny. Hey, Greenhouse Matt, when are you going to freaking let me do you an interview, man? Freaking. Dude, we had to set up a time for Greenhouse Matt here to do an interview, and we had a time set up. Dude doesn't show up. Oh, there he goes. I'm in cyber. I'm almost out, said John Coffey. Right on. Right on. So you want to give some guidance to my man Jeremy there, John? Yeah, so look at this guy. He's like, yeah, I'll email you back. You went back to corporate? All right. Gotcha. So Jeremy, if you want cyber, get certified. All right. So anyway, so let's go. I want to see what I went back to corporate, then back to greenhouses, done with sides. Yeah, okay. So John Coffey is saying get your certifications too, Jeremy. So we've got a couple of people saying get your certifications. I don't know what that means, but Andrew says 180 million bucks to lay a garbage can on the side of the moon, on its side in the moon. All right, so apparently there's some pretty significant certification you got to get, Jeremy, for sure. All right, so I want to share with you guys this. I was thinking about this. So check this out. So I was minding my own business, reading my book there, and this one, right there. Oh, I hope you all can see this. Can you guys see this? Yes, sweet. If we don't go to the moon, Wisconsin will run out of cheese. That's funny. All right, so check this out. I'm gonna make this a little bit bigger. All right. So this is the National Vital Statistics Report, U.S. U.S. States Life Tables 2020 from Elizabeth Arias and that person, Joaquin Zhu, something like that. I don't know what it is, but anyway, so I want to share this with you guys. This is for life expectancy. It's a great piece of information. But before we do that, I want to show you some here. So we're going to go to, hold on just a second. Expectancy. So let's see if that shows up again. Again, hold on just a second. It's not. So I got to get a screenshot. Let's see if I can't get the screenshot up. All right, so are you guys going to see the screenshot? Hold on just a second. Because there's a method to my madness here. Let me get that screenshot. What happened to it? Hold on a second. There's a screenshot. Okay. Good. There we go. So let's see if I can't stop sharing that. Let's see if I can't share this screenshot. Share screen. I guess I can. Oh, man. Well, anyway, so I typed in life expectancy for blacks in the U.S. Life expectancy for blacks in the U.S. And what came back was Black Americans' life expectancy in 2022 by the CDC declined to about 71 years, 6 years lower than their white counterparts. National disparities in life expectancy can represent the permanency of racism, offering little reason for hope. So the permanency of racism, which offers little reason for hope, has led to black life expectancy 6 years lower than whites. So that's interesting. Because my thought process was if blacks don't live as long as whites, maybe blacks would be more inclined to take Social Security early, if that makes sense. Because if you're living longer, you'd want to take Social Security later, in general speaking. Because if you're living shorter, you're not going to make much Social Security. Now that life expectancy as infants, by the way. So then I want to go, and I said, so I looked up the National Vital Statistics thing, which I'm going to share with you right here. And we're going to go down to, which is very, very interesting. And we're going to show you right here. All right, so make this a little bit bigger so you guys can see it. So make it bigger. There you go. Expectation of life by age, Hispanic origin, race, and sex in the United States. All right, so we got all origins. We got Hispanics. We got non-Hispanic American Indians. We got non-Hispanic Asians. We got non-Hispanic blacks. We got non-Hispanic whites. All right, so again, my thought process was, if you're most likely to die earlier, you'd want to take Social Security earlier. All right, so you can see the life expectancy at birth is 77 years old. See if you guys can see that. 77 years old. All right, so that's the life expectancy at birth. This is in 2020. It's dropped since then, obviously, but not by much. We don't really care about life expectancy at birth because we're all alive right now. So we're going to go life expectancy at 60. The life expectancy at 60 is 22 years. But that's everybody. That's all Americans, 22 years. Which is interesting because Social Security, the break-even point is about 78 to 80, depending if you take it early or not. If you survive beyond 80, you should not have taken it at 62. But again, generally speaking, all right, if you die before 80, you should have taken it at 62. It's just that simple. So for a 60-year-old person who's contemplating Social Security, his life expectancy is really only 80 years. So it kind of makes sense to think maybe I should take Social Security early. But then we got to break it up. We got to say this is for men, 20 years, and this is for women. All right, so if I'm 60 years old and I'm a woman, I'd say, well, my life expectancy is 84 years, which means if I take Social Security early, if I go to the life expectancy, I will have lost money because my 62 won't pay me as much if I wait till I'm 67. Now, if I'm a man, my life expectancy is at 20. It'll probably basically be, six in one hand, half dozen the other. Just all being the same. All right, so check this out though. So now we're going to go to life expectancy for Hispanics. You can see for Hispanic men, right there. For Hispanic men, right there, almost like that, right there, it's 20.4 years. All right, which is interesting because for all men, it's 20.5 years. So for Hispanic men, it's 20.4 years. For Hispanic women, it's 24.5 years. All right, so again, if I'm a Spanish lady and I'm 60 years old, most likely I would defer to taking it till I'm 67, just because I'd get more from it, all things being equal. If I'm a Spanish man, it's basically just, again, either way, because your life expectancy is 80 years old. All right, let's keep going. So we're going to go over here. We're going to say this is American Indians. American Indians just, right there, 18, right, hold on a second. The American Indians for men was 17 years for American Indian men. So they should definitely take Social Security early, unless they have a spouse that they need to provide for. But even the spouse is only going to live till she's 80. So on the life expectancy. So if you're American Indian, you'd probably want to take Social Security early. All right. That's just a fact because your life expectancy is so low. For a myriad bunch of reasons. We're not going to get to here. All right. So now let's go over to Asians. All right. So isn't it interesting? Asian men's life expectancy is 24 years. Which is almost the same as Hispanic women's life expectancy. Asian women life expectancy is 27 years. Now, Asians, and I'm not sure how they put Indians or Arabs in here, Middle Eastern. I don't know where the Arabs, a lot of times Middle Eastern people are considered white, which is odd. But anyway, I don't know where they put Indians. I don't know. But Asians, whatever that is including, sometimes Pakistanis are considered Asians, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes Indians are considered, I don't know. But anyway, Asians have by far and away the largest life expectancy. So if I'm Asian, I'm probably deferring taking Social Security till I'm 67 to get the biggest bang for my buck. Here's where it gets interesting. Here's blacks. All right, so we're going to get blacks right here. And we're going to come over here to age. We're going to go right there, 60, right there. All right, so right there. So black men at 60 years old, their life expectancy is 17.2. Yeah, there it is, 17.2. Black men at 60 years old. So black men, like American Indians, should take Social Security early. Again, unless there's a spouse that they got to take care of. And the fact that the vast majority of black households are not married couples, there is no spouse. It's sad. It's the freaking disgusting what the government did to the black family. It's absolutely evil. Margaret Sanger could not have been happier. The Klan could not have been happier. And yet blacks, for some reason, they don't blame the perpetrator of that freaking insanity, which is the Democratic Party. It's the weirdest thing to me, but whatever. Anyway, so the point being is most blacks are not married. That significant portion of blacks are not married. It's sad. So most black men, they're not going to live to 80 years old, life expectancy. That's just a fact. And as such, what they should do is take Social Security early because most are not married and most aren't going to live till they're 80. So they should take Social Security early. 100%. Not all of them, I'm telling you. There are lots of black people crushing, but the majority are not married. They're just not. It's disgusting. It's sad. Horrible. Black women, on the other hand, is very interesting. Their life expectancy is 21. All right. So black women have a life expectancy of 21. Again, this is at the age of 60. You have to have survived until you're 60. And then your life expectancy for a black woman is till you're 81. So we're kind of back to, should they take Social Security early or later? Well, given that they're going to survive beyond that 78 to 80 timeframe, most likely, they should probably take Social Security when they're later at 67. Here's where it gets very, very interesting, though. Black women got a life expectancy of 21.3 at the age of 60. White men, your old buddy Josh, has a life expectancy of 1/2 of a year less than black women. So going back to that screenshot I shared with you, life expectancy for blacks is because of racism and they've given up hope. Well, black women have a higher life expectancy than white men. So we're victims of racism, and I want my reparations. I'm a victim of freaking racism, and it pisses me off. I'm sick of being everyone being racist against me. The evidence is right there, dude. White men life expectancy, every single stage of this is lower than black female. Here's black female at birth, 75 years. Here's white men at birth, 74. Here's black female. I don't know what age that is. One whole year more. Here's black women. Here's black women. Here's black women. Here's white men, white men, white men. Every single stage, black women's life expectancy is higher than white men. I want my reparations. Obviously, it's racism, 100%. And I wasn't going into this thinking about that. I had no clue. Actually, I was surprised by that because I thought for sure white men would have a higher life expectancy than blacks as a whole. It's just not true. We have a lower life expectancy than black women, and a lower life expectancy than Asian women and men, and a lower life expectancy than Spanish women. It's just fact. And this goes back to the idiocy of, equal pay. Women don't do the hard jobs that men do. They just don't. And as such, men have more risky jobs. They die more on the job. That's just a fact, man. Just a fact. That's why men get paid more. They're just watching these welding videos. These guys, I don't know if they're in the Navy or whatnot, but they're in high, heavy waters. And they're welding and stuff. I said, there ain't no women doing that, dude. No way. These guys don't get paid. Whatever they're getting paid is not enough. You know what I'm saying? It's just a fact. And I said, yeah, that's equal pay for equal work. Then get out there, ladies, and do that work. The point being, when this comes to financial planning, and I'm done with that diatribe. The whole thing's so stupid. Everyone wants to be a victim, and I'm so over it. It's like, America, like that freaking. Everyone wants to be a victim. Everyone wants to say it's somebody else's fault. I'm not to blame. And I'm just over it, and you should be too. And I know you are. That's why you're here. But anyway, the point being is, at the end of the day, what's our life expectancy? And if our life expectancy at 60 or 55 is low, all right, then you might want to think about taking Social Security early. However, if your life expectancy at 60 or 55 is high, you might want to think about taking Social Security later, just on average. That's just a fact. And if you're in decent shape, you don't smoke, hopefully you don't drink, you drink La Croix, the Pablo P drink, you should take Social Security later. Again, all things being equal. On top of that, as a man, your wife is going to survive. I was talking to these guys this morning, because I deal with clients on Saturday morning because I'm freaking crushing. And so these guys are just kicking ass and taking names, love them to death. The wife is 10 times better looking than the husband. Like all the people I talk to, I'm like, dude, like me. I mean, we all married up. It's crazy. I don't know what the women seeing us ugly guys, but whatever. Anyway, so this guy's 7 years older than his wife. And he should definitely, his a little bit different, but generally speaking, he should definitely take Social Security at 70. Because he'll get a bigger benefit for himself, even if he doesn't survive until he's 80 years old to make it worth for him. His wife certainly will, and she'll get the bigger bang for the buck. So a man should definitely default to take Social Security later because his wife will most likely survive him, and the man usually has a bigger benefit. And that's something to think about when it comes to Social Security. Right here, Linda says, you should identify as an 18-year-old Asian woman. I can't imagine how many perverts would be on your door, Linda. There's a lot of perverted people out there who have an infatuation with 18-year-old Asian women. So that'd be kind of creepy. Right here. LaCroix makes you lose your will to live, so drink instead. All the years I welded, I saw one woman that was a certified welder actually burning rods. Most became weld techs. I only saw one woman. Yeah, right. There's always one. People say, like, I was debating my man Derek Tharp, who writes for the Kids This Thing. He was talking about there's this girl wrestler in Maine who won a championship and beat some boys. And I said that I don't like that. Just because she can do it, then we got to allow trans. We got to allow trans to wrestle the girls. That's just all there is to it. And he corrected me. He said, no, that was an open competition that anyone could participate. So that's different. That's different. If everyone's saying, I'm just going to wrestle whoever I wrestle, I got no qualm with that, none whatsoever. But we have boys and girls sports. And the idea that somehow it's okay for girls to play boys sports, but not boys to play girls sports, that's freaking the wrong answer. That's completely discriminatory. Because what does that do? It takes away a spot from a boy to play his team. because a girl, and she might be better, but she had a chance to play softball or baseball. The boy only has a chance to play baseball. So if a girl might be better than him gets to play he gets robbed. He's 100% robbed. He can't go and play on the girls' team. It's wrong. Girls should be on the girls' team. Boys should be on the girls' team. Or just make it all open and say we're all going to compete. I got no problem with that. But either way, if you're going to allow girls to play on the boys' teams, you inherently got to allow trans to play on the girls' teams. It's just that simple. When I was in the Little League, there's this girl named Tracy who's our second baseman for our Little League team, and she was good, better than me. But they already had girls softball. I couldn't play girls softball, and I didn't get to play. I was second base as my position, so I had to play in the outfield instead, which I actually like better. But she was better than me, and so I couldn't play second base because she beat me out. But she also could have played to that team, so I was basically robbed the ability to play what I wanted to play because she took my spot. And again, not mad at her at all. I don't blame her, but that's not fair. It's not fair at all. Anyway, so we're just having to talk about that on Facebook. All right, so as 7-year-olds like to claim now on having average index income of 150,000. Yeah, see you're not married, dude. I see if you're not. See, this is the thing. So another guy I was talking to the other day, he's married to a teacher, and she's a teacher in Ohio. Yeah, I know, a teacher in Ohio, not the brightest bulbs, right? I mean, if you're living in Ohio, we know, and sorry, and he's an Ohio State fan, and I don't have my UGA. I got my Atlanta Hawks shirt on. I don't have my UGA shirt on, and he remembered the game Georgia played Ohio State, where Ohio State should have beat Georgia, but Georgia won. Anyway, long story short, so he was married. His wife's a teacher, a couple years behind, and she's not paying into Social Security, so she's going to be subject to WEP and then GPO. So he should take it at 62, unequivocally, because his wife will get no benefit from him at all. I told him, as long as you're not working. If you're working, don't take it at 62. But if you're not working, just take it at 62 and bank that sucker. You know what I'm saying? Because there is no benefit to her whatsoever because the GPO, which the government pension offset, she will get no Social Security benefit from him at all. And she will get none on her own. And this is one of the other things that really irks me about the Republicans is that most of our people, all right, of the Republican Party, with tons of teachers in Texas whose pensions are very, very minimal, but they're not subject to they're not in Social Security. And so a lot of these people are conservative. Not all of them, I guarantee in Houston, Dallas, I get that. But still, at the end of the day, Republicans should be the one pushing for the elimination of WEP and GPO because a lot of our people, our voters, are being punished by that. And that Social Security benefit, while not huge, a couple extra $1,000 a month or something like that is a big deal when your pension is only $2,500 a month as a teacher in Texas. And by the way, it's no automatic COLA. It's based on whatever the legislature chooses. It's such a winning vote thing. But again, Republicans, they're the freaking Washington Generals. They're not there to win. They're there to allow the Democrats to win. So go find the USA flag on the moon. Be my guest, dude. Call me perverizer. Oh God. Yeah, find the flag on the moon. Toast, man. Toast. And where's my man Tom? Is Tom here? So Tom thinks most moon landing deniers have they say, well, the flag was moving. It was moving. It was moving. The video shows the flag was moving, even though there's no wind. And so they have to come up with these things. Well, it was on a steel rod that they have to come up. The Neil Armstrong walked by and all that. The evidence, if anyone wants to take a moment to look, you say the flag was moving long after the boys Buzz and Neil walked away. And it was that, and it's the funniest thing, man. You're like, it's weird to me. I'm like, there has to be a reason that flag was moving. And it wasn't because Neil and Buzz walked by it, because they were well into the limb at that point. You know what I'm saying? And yet the flag waved. And then the only thing they could say is, well, maybe it was the exhaust of the limb, the moon or the lander. And it said maybe it's okay. Oh, that's a good idea, but what's the validity of that? I don't know. But we know for a fact you can see the flag moving. It's not the same way they'll have you believe, though. You just got to look at it and say, the flag was out of view. Like, here's my finger, right? It's over here. You can't see it. And then all of a sudden it kind of shows all of a sudden, and then it's back over here. That is the flag. That's what happens to the flag on the moon. It's here, and then it's on here, and then it's here, just real briefly, but it does it like 3 or 4 times. This is after Neil and Buzz are in the limb. You're like, well, how'd that happen? There's no answer, and other than maybe it's the exhaust of the limb, but you're like, really? And then there's alternative explanations for why there was no exhaust. It's very interesting. All right, let's keep going. So, Andrew, I'm playing with some calculators now to see how socialist timing affects our portfolio longevity. Still haven't made up our minds. Yeah, it's not an easy thing. It's not an easy thing. Liberty said, took my pension. I said, my head itches. I'm not getting lice. My head itches, man. I'm getting lice. You guys, nitpicking. Y'all ever done nitpicking? Trust me, man. If you haven't done nitpicking, you haven't lived. What is it? Don says, what is the median healthy 80-year-old spend their money on? Well, I think if you're healthy and you're probably traveling stuff. My uncle, they live in Thailand. My uncle Guy and Aunt Maria, they gotta be over 80. But they just came to see their daughter in Orlando for a couple months. It's funny. My uncle could not disagree on more than that guy. Could not disagree on more. It's crazy. He thinks I'm crazy. That's okay. I literally could care less. Could not disagree more. It's just funny, actually. It's like, man, he was. They truly are true believers in the authority of science. Is crazy. But want a corporate job, work a corporate job nowadays, you'll see how fair it is. POC and women in tech are getting promotions over competent people that feel quota. It's no argument here, man. I'm not going to argue. And as the guy who's got a daughter in computer science, one of the reasons she got the job is because she's a white lady. And there just isn't any. I mean, there's no blacks. It's crazy. I was talking to this guy the other day, about 6 months ago. I was buying something at some store, waiting on something. I forgot what it was. This big, tall black guy's in front of me. We got to talk. A young guy. We got to talk. Forgot what we got to talk. We got to talking, and it turns out he's in computer science at it wasn't Georgia Tech. It might have been UGA or something. No, it was Fordham up in New York. That's what it was. I said, "What are you doing out here?" And he goes, "He's from here." You know what I'm saying? So, oh, cool. Anyway, I said, "So, what's the job search wait for?" And he goes, "Oh, it's crazy. I'm getting offers all the time." I said, "Well, good. They need you because there's literally no blacks in computer science. There's none." He goes, "Oh, I know. It's like I'm the only black guy, and all the the courses I've ever taken. I'm the only one." And that's I've had a client. I don't want to say too much, but she was like the only black woman in computer science, and she retired, and they're like desperate to say, please find some more black women. It's crazy to me, and I'm just like, it's sad again, going back to the lack of 2-parent families in the black communities and stuff. Anyway, so this guy's getting job offers, and that a lot of people be pissed off by that, but I'm not. I'm like, as long as he's competent, there's got to be some minimum competency, but I just, anyway, so I bought him I think I was waiting on pizza or something like that. So I bought him his pizza. I said, man, you're freaking crushing out there. Anyway, and when I drove by later on after I got my pizza, I saw him walking. He lives in like a little apartment in Alpharetta or something like that. So I just hope that guy kicks ass and take names. You know what I'm saying? Because I think it's important that there are more people doing these things. We don't want just Indians, that's for sure. We don't want you got to have. I mean, I do believe in diversity in terms of competency for sure, but I know this guy's going to get jobs wherever because there's no other black guys, and that's not a good thing. And like we have 2 black guys here and graduating in high school from South Fulton County, and they're getting scholarships every single college in the history of mankind. And it's easy to be pissed off, like, well, that's not. But the problem is that the reason they are because there's such a small group of black men or black women who can fill that role that if they do decently enough, everyone's going to kiss their ass. And that sounds like it's good. Imagine being that kid, though. This kid has everyone has got their eyes on you, wondering if you're competent enough. Everyone. You can't just show up and do a half-ass job. I mean, some of these guys do, I grant you, but if you truly are a go-getter, you can't just show up and do a half-ass job. You got to show up and freaking crush to show everybody that you didn't get it just because of affirmative action. You know what I'm saying? And that's tough to put a young man into that position. I actually have no envy for these people at all. I think it's horrible the way it's come out. Imagine being Ben Carson the first time, he said, put it on his doctor thing. They're like, "Oh, you only got the job because you're black," and Ben Carson's like freaking crushing everybody. Crazy. Um, Sniffy Joe's dog loves eight. Sniffy Joe's dog is whoa. That shit was that's I do have a cheese hat, Denise. I do have that I got cheese hat. Been keeping all my money in the money market. Good idea, dude. You get 5%, man. People. Look, I don't have all my money in the money market. I think I'm 65 stocks and building up because I put $1,000 every 2 weeks into the VTI. I don't have all my money in the money market, but you're getting what the Vanguard money market is like 5.3 now. I mean, come on, man. Yeah, I'm down. I'm down in my basement. That's where I'm at. Down in my basement. I mean, you're getting so if you had $1 million in the money market for simplicity, you're getting 50,000 a year for no risk. Now, what everyone's going to say is, "Oh, well, wait until." I've had people post this. It's the most idiotic thing I've ever heard. LaCroix, where you been all my life? Don't you guys be jumping off when Turtle Boy starts here in 5 minutes. I don't want to see people jumping off to watch Turtle Boy because he's back from jail for 60 days. If you do, I'll get arrested, go to jail for 61 days. And I'll say free Scanlon. So that way you guys, you'll stay here as opposed to going on Turtle Boy. Actually, I'm looking forward to Turtle Boy's live stream. I'll probably watch it tomorrow. I usually don't watch live streams live. I'm back home, Celtic. I'm in my basement where I'm always the dungeon. I'm always banished to the basement. Let's see. What was I saying about the money? Oh, so other people say, yeah, but at some point the rates will lower, and then your money won't even keep up with inflation. I'm like, oh my goodness, are people this insane? I'm like, dude, why would they lower the rates? Why? Because the economy isn't doing well. Typically, when the economy doesn't do well, what happens to stocks? They get lowered too. So if they're lowering the rates, what does that typically mean for inflation? It means it's going down as well. So what happened to your money? Did you lose money in the money market? No, you just not make as much interest, but you're not losing. I don't understand how people don't see this. If they're going to lower rates and you'll be stuck and your money won't be blah, blah, blah. Like, oh my goodness. Why would they do that? Oh, they do it because the economy isn't doing well. So let's lower rates. Not that would pick up the economy anyway, because I don't know why. It's just so frustrating me. Oh, the Fed, as if the Fed has its it's kind of like the CO2 fools. We just switch the CO2 a little bit and we'll reduce global warming. We just turn it like this. We human beings are in control of the freaking God's abundance. We just turn a knob. We just open up the valve and we can stop CO2. It's no big deal. Then it'll stop global warming. It's insane. Same thing. It was like the Federal Reserve. They just tweak the interest rates a little bit. They tweak, and all of a sudden the economy is booming. It's so idiotic. That's why I read books from the past, because books from the past tell you exactly what the hell they're worried about in the past. Oh, well, behold, the same damn things they're worried about now. It's crazy. The same solutions. And if it didn't work back then under Paul Volcker, it's not going to work now. Everyone thinks it worked back then under Paul Volcker. No, it did not. Paul Volcker was the head of the New York Federal Reserve, which is the number two. So we had I think Burns was the guy that charged the Fed, and Paul Volcker is number two, the Fed of the New York Fed. So they were in cahoots raising rates from like 76 to 82. Why did it all of a sudden magically work in 82, but it didn't work in 81? That's so stupid. My man says, Chalupe, I hope to retire at 56. So I've started to plan for retirement about 5 years ago, which would tell me then, actually, let's use our math skills. So Chalupe wants to retire at 56. So he started planning for it about 5 years ago, but we don't know how old he is. So we're not sure how old we could presume that was 51, but we don't know if 56 is now. So we don't know. All right. We got Uncle Guy have an 18-year-old. No, his wife was literally, what was Amaria? She was a daughter of the king's, anyway, not royalty, but her dad worked for the king in Thailand. Uncle Guy, I think I'm not even sure where Aunt Maria is from. I'm not sure if she lived in the States or not. but I don't recall. But definitely he didn't get a little, no, not like that. That's for sure. In fact, I had a friend of mine, Marty, who wanted to go to Thailand. This is probably 20 years ago. This is before I knew that, pervs are going to Thailand. I said, "Hey, Uncle Guy, my friend Marty is going to Thailand. Can he, can be okay if he hooks up with you?" He says, and he emailed me back, kind of, cryptic. I said, "Okay." I was like, that was weird, kind of rude actually. And then I learned later on that a lot of men go to Thailand uh, to get with underage people, if that makes sense. There's a guy, I don't know, some guy on Joe Rogan show, Ari, something like that. I don't know his name. Was like bragging about, uh, diddling these underage. It was a dude that he thought was a girl. And he's like brag. I was like, dude, these are sick, evil people. They're like he's bragging about with underage age what he thought was a girl. And it turned out to be a boy. And he's still. It's like it's like a prostitute. Still under. That's why I can't stand Joe Rogan. Cannot stand Joe Rogan. I'm like, dude, you can't have a guy. I mean, you can do whatever the hell you want, but this the degradation of our society. This is what they want. Ultimately, they ultimately want there had to be no rules on pedos, friggin' diddling young men or young boys or young girls. At some point, it's gonna be sacrificing to freaking Moloch. No different than what the Incas, the Aztecs did, or whatever, who the hell it was. And that's what they want, man. They want the freaking blood from babies. Now it's just blood from abortion, blood from babies, and get with anyone you want. It's crazy. It's funny. I used to be so anti-regulation on a lot of things until the last couple of years, and I realized, nah, you can't let corporations run amok. The corporations are just as bad, if not worse, than the government for sure. Yeah, they can't raise an army, but they can fund a damn army. If that makes sense. They don't respect any freedoms whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And they'll sell your soul for rock and roll in 2 seconds flat. They'll sell you out to the highest bidder. If China is the highest bidder, they'll sell to China. If friggin' Putin's the highest bidder, they'll sell to Putin. They don't care. They don't care. So it's just funny. I used to think, just let no, I was just wrong, dead wrong. They'll sell you out in 2 seconds flat if they can make a buck. They don't care. There's no loyalty to the United States. Are you going to do new videos on how to retire at 55? No, give me some ideas, Simone. I'd love to do new videos. Why don't you send me an email what you're looking for? That's a great video. You got my email, Simone B? I'd be happy to do that video. By the way, I'm going to interview a lady. She emailed me and she says, I'm not going to, I can't remember what she emailed me, but something like, I'm 50. I haven't started any financial planning yet. I'm so scared. Something like that. I said, why don't you let me interview you? And she goes, well, I don't know. And I said, that's okay. We won't say who your name is or anything like that. We're just going to use you as a case study of what we need to do. So I gave her access to Right Capital, and she's getting slammed. And she's kind of depressed. She goes, man, I don't. It doesn't look good. I said, it's okay. It's okay. We're gonna figure it out. It's gonna be a fun video to do. I'm gonna interview her, anonymously, of course, and we're gonna see what we can come up with. Now she didn't have 500,000, Simone. You know what I'm saying? So you're rich compared to her, but she might have been. I don't know what she's been doing. But she doesn't have it. Maybe she's divorced. I don't know. But she's like, I feel like it's too late. So let's find out. And it might well be. I don't think so though. We're gonna see. Apple cider vinegar on your scalp once a month when you shower. Really? Huh. What does that do, man? What does that do, Andrew? Let me see if Andrew's got. I don't want to see what. I mean, I have no money for retirement. Give me access to Right Capital. Full browser. Are you? You don't have access to Right Capital? Send me an email. I'll hook you up, man. No biggie. What does that do, Andrew? Apple cider vinegar on my scalp. Look at that. It's like dry. The acidity is good for my scalp. Man, if I freaking lose my hair, and well, you still got hair. If I lose my hair, I'm gonna learn welding so I can weld it back on my scalp. Make you mad. How about crappy annuity I bought? How about a crappy annuity I bought, but will use excess distribution to cover RMDs while doing Roth conversions? Yeah, nothing wrong with that. Rand G Does anyone know if I can set up automatic purchases of $500 a month into VGT using money already in my Vanguard settlement fund on the 15th of each month? I don't think. No, you can't because that's not a mutual fund. It's not an open-ended fund. So that's the stock. So VGT is a stock, and so as such, you can't do pre-orders essentially. A mutual fund you can because it's open-ended and only trades once a day. A stock, because it trades throughout the day, you can't do that. They won't allow you to do it. But I don't know what's the mutual fund equivalent of VGT. I don't know. I'm not sure. But anyway, if you found the mutual fund, you could because mutual funds are open-ended. The stocks and stocks, in this case, an ETF has a fixed amount of shares. You could do a video on me, Josh. It could be titled "S Show What Not to Do." Yeah, well, send me some details, Don. People like that stuff. Yeah, with ACA, 100%, man. With ACA, you really can't do Roth conversions right. 100%, George. Yeah, a little bit maybe, but it's what I tell people all the time. Instead of doing Roth conversions, I just say use your IRA as a distribution. So you can qualify for Obamacare, so you're not qualifying for Medicaid. So just pull the money out of your IRA to spend essentially instead of doing Roth conversions. I don't know why they confuse a lot of people. I say, all right, so we need a certain level of income to qualify for Obamacare. If we don't have that certain level of income, we're going to be on Medicaid. That's not what we want. If we have zero capital, that's right. Oh man, you can access the free version, zero capital. Well, don't they have that personal capital? I heard people like that. It's just not very good. At least it wasn't 5 years ago. It wasn't good at taxes. But let's just say you need, I was talking to these people just the other day. I talked to a lot of people, so I have a lot of stories here. But I said, just pull what I tell this guy. So she had $10,000 a month in her pension. I said, just pull $30,000 a year from his IRA. That's what it was. So they have $40,000 a year of income. So $10,000 a month from her pension, and $30,000. That's what it was, and $30,000 a year from his IRA. And then there's going to be $40,000 a year from their Roth. I was telling them to take distributions from the Roth. They needed about $80,000 a year, so they got 10 from the pension, 30 from the IRA. That's $40,000 of income that's going to go flow to their AGI. Then they're going to pull $40,000 a year from the Roth. That's $80,000 a year income. Only $40,000 of that shows up as AGI for Obamacare. So now they're going to get, I forgot what state they live in, like $1,900 a month in Obamacare credits. Now, mind you, not all Obamacare is. People, for some reason, think Obamacare is like great. It's not necessarily. It depends on where you are. There's plenty of places Obamacare sucks donkey balls, man. Plenty of, like Fulton County, friggin' sucks, dude. It's just an HMO. There's no PPO here. It's Kaiser Permanente, and it's you don't want that. I mean, if that is better than nothing, I suppose. But at the end of the day, so now I told these people, instead of doing Roth conversions, I said, no. We don't want Roth conversions. We want the exact opposite. We want you pulling money from your Roth so you can get the Obamacare subsidies, which is, like I said, worth almost $20,000 a year, tax free. It's crazy. I live in Massachusetts. I believe I can get insurance no matter what happens. What do you mean? Not being underwritten? Is that what you're saying? Yeah. Poor on pay, dude. So for your old buddy Josh, everything is down to Roth. You know what I'm saying? And so when I take Social Security 14 years from now, 67, I'm going to be freaking living on. If I take it at 67, Charlotte will be 63. I'll be 67. So we'll just say for simplicity, we're going to get $5,500 a month in Social Security, something like that. Not that much. We'll say $5,000 a month in Social Security. The rest will be coming from my Roth, no debt. I have, I'll sell this house. I'll have cash money from this house. I'll be pouring paper like a mofo. It's gonna be great. No taxes. Al Slow says, "Hey, Dan Trainer, look at my man Dan. Long time no see." I'm putting vinegar on my scalp because Angie says, and I trust Angie because she's a lady. I don't trust freaking Andrew. Andrew wants me to lose my hair so he doesn't have to compete with me with the ladies. So Andrew's like, put vinegar or cider on your scalp. I said, yeah, now my hair is going to fall out, so no lady's going to like me anymore. And he said, yeah, that's more for me. But then Angie from California piped in and said, no, it's good. You should do that. I said, okay. All right, because I don't trust guys trying to tell me to lose my hair. Thankfully, I have a full head of hair. A little bit of what we call these cul-de-sacs, a little bit of cul-de-sacs right there. little bit of cul-de-sacs right there, but I still got a full head of hair because my German grandpa had a thick old head of hair, thick black hair. Somehow I was blonde. Crazy. I got how to get my butt kicked financially to learn about taxes and investing. Yeah, but you learn. That's the thing. Is a lot of people don't learn, and as such, they still make mistakes, small, incremental mistakes that add up over time for sure. Right here. Take lifetime income from an annuity at 5 present value. It'll help after a secure act until 80. Have you ever done a video on investing in closed-end funds that pay monthly dividends? No, I have not. Wife was the bank's CFO and did the bank's returns before and at other public banks too, the 10K and other stuff. She's just not an expert on personal taxes. It's quite different. 100%, man. I did conversions like an idiot. So I did videos during the pandemic, talk about now's the time to do Roth conversions. You can look back, and I showed you. Now's the time to do them. I remember I was walking in that neighborhood over there doing a video. I was walking saying, now do Roth conversions. The market was down 33%, whatever it was. Said, dude, you're never going to get a better time than this. And I was absolutely right, 100% right. Maybe the first time in my life, I was right. However, who did not do those? This guy. I didn't do them in 2020. So 2021, 2022, 2023, I just a third. I got swamped. I got freaking crazy taxes to pay. Now, look, I don't have $1 million, guys. I'm not a millionaire, trust me. You know what I'm saying? I'm not living hand to mouth, whatever it is. But I've been putting the bulk of my excess money, not in my investments, but into this home, which is great. But you can't eat at home. You got to eat. Your home doesn't provide you food; only cash provides you food. So now I got everything, in my Roth, which is freaking awesome. But I've had to pay a pretty significant tax hit. And the reason I did that, I didn't do in 2020. It's because, like, man, COVID was here. I was like, I'm not sure. Like, literally, no one knew like what the economy was going to be. I was not at all afraid of COVID, but I was scared about the economy. We didn't know what that was going on. It's crazy. And I knew, the whole thing. I don't want to get into it because I'll get banned. But I just knew at the end of the day that people were going to overreact, and sure enough, they did. And so I said, I don't want to lose my money now, because if I do Roth conversions, I have to pay taxes, and I might not ever recoup that money again. You know what I'm saying? Especially because the economy everyone's scared. And it turns out in 2020, I missed the boat. Dude. I got this guy Francis who moved to Florida. He talks to me every now and again. He's like, dude, and he's up like I can't even, like, let's go to freaking Portfolio Visualizer. Let's just see how much the freaking Roth. So we're going to go to Portfolio Visualizer. All right, so we're going to share this with you guys. All right, CB, off to church. Whatever happened to our CB from California? I did something to piss that guy off. He was a apple cider kills athlete's foot. Really? Mm-hmm. I had a guy in here who's a good, friend of the channel, CB from California, and he was here in the early days. And I must have said something that pissed him off. I wonder what it is, because I haven't seen him in a long time. I hope he's not dead, heaven forbid. But some guys come and go, but he was pretty strong. Maybe because I don't know. Maybe because I didn't support the giving money to Ukraine, but he was gone before that. Maybe it's COVID stuff. There were a lot of people on the right who were very angry at my take on COVID. Lots of people on the right. I've lost a lot of people on the right. Some financially supported me. This guy Rob, a good guy, financially supported me. My take on COVID, he was just infuriated by it. Infuriated. It was crazy to me. I was like, it's weird, man. It's strange how COVID brought some people from the left together with some people from the right, and they brought some people from the left together with some people from the right in terms of forcing things on people, if you know what I'm saying. And I never want that. I've always been the Jenny McCarthy. Like, you take your thing, let me do my thing. I've always been on the Jenny McCarthy side of that when it comes to that stuff. I've always been more, the regenerative agriculture as opposed to monoculture. Always been that. The hippie stuff, hemp. I think hemp is a wonderful product. You know what I'm saying? I don't smoke dope or anything like that. I think there's lots of value in hemp. Always been that regard, more of the hippie on that stuff. But, when it comes to my pro-America populism, I'm as far right as you could possibly be, 100%. And I'm not afraid to admit that I'm a paley, if that makes sense. It's just the way God made me. Doesn't make me proud, doesn't make me ashamed. I'm pale. Wow. Oh no. I don't have any privilege, nothing like that. I'm privileged. We're all privileged to live in the United States. But during COVID, man, I mean, a lot of the left wing people, because left wing people used to be free thinkers. They've since lost that many moons ago. I saw the same thing, how they would react to COVID, how they reacted to climate change, how they reacted with gun control, and it was literally the same argument, literally copy and paste the argument. You know what I'm saying? So you want people to die? That's literally what they say about, I don't want you telling me I can't own a semi-automatic rifle. That's just stupid. So you want people to die? Oh, for the love of the good Lord. Yeah, I don't want to ban pipelines and ban natural gas. So you want people to die? Oh, it's just so idiotic. And if you say, and then they start calling you stupid, they say, oh, you can tell you never took science, or, oh, where'd you get your PhD from? And I'm just like, oh, dude, I'm not new to this. The arguments are so stupid, just so bad. And I saw the same arguments with COVID I saw during the gun control debates of the late 90s. And then I saw those debates in the climate change and the global warming in the 2000s. I said, these are literally the same arguments. Then I saw the same damn arguments with COVID. I said, man, these people, they just, Trump is appealing to the lowest common denominator, assuming that we're all stupid. I was like, oh my goodness. I said, these guys are just not smart people. They're not. They're emotional. Half of them are bots anyway. But it's the right wingers, I thought. Like this one guy said, dude, did you buy into the global warming stuff? He goes, no, I know they're manipulating the numbers. I said, well, why would you think they're not doing it here when we have evidence of them doing that? And it's just not from COVID, but from previous instances of this. I'm like, why would you trust them now? I don't get it. We have evidence of Neil Ferguson pulling stuff out of his butt since 2000, with swine flu, the bird flu, all this stuff. And yet now he's right. Why would you fall for that? It's the weirdest thing to me. I'm still shocked. Like, I don't get it. These guys are full of crap for the previous 20 years, but now all of a sudden they're right. It's nuts to me. Well, it better be safe than sorry. Well, hell, you better turn in your firearms then. Better be safe than sorry. You know what I'm saying? We better ban air conditioning then. Better be safe than sorry, because the Freon, puts the freaking the ozone layer, the CO2 in the atmosphere. It's just so freaking stupid. All right, so let's go look at. I'm gonna use that red. Of course, the more you think about itches on the head, the more your head itches. You know what I'm saying? It's like, don't think about pink elephant. I'm not thinking about a pink elephant. Oh, yes, you are. Don't think about itching your head. Now my head itches. Crazy. So I'm gonna use that apple cider on my head. Freaking Andrew, I tell you what, man, I hope that works, dude. And I wonder how long my head's gonna stink. Do you use it with shampoo? I'm gonna move to Virginia in retirement. I'm gonna move to Virginia for sure. I mean, I like Georgia. Don't get me wrong. I just like Virginia. I like Virginia. ACA $7 a month? No way. Oh yeah, absolutely. You can get ACA for $7 a month if you're showing enough income to qualify, but not too much to lose the credits. Absolutely. If you're living in one state and paying for your own health insurance and move to another state, how does that work? Can you switch anytime and wait for open enrollment? Don't know, Angie. Great question. Don't know. Don't know the answer to that. I would imagine. Yeah, I just don't know. I'm not a millionaire yet. Well, I mean, my house is pretty expensive. Let's put it that way. If you take the equity of my home plus my portfolio, yes, I am. You know what I'm saying? The vast bulk of that is in the equity of my home, if that makes sense. So KK, you're in Massachusetts. So let's just give you an example. You're in Massachusetts. If you take your home to equity plus your retirement accounts, all right, just FYI, and it's worth more than $2 million, guess what? You are subject to an estate tax upon your demise, or your estate is. Did you know that, KK? Did you know that? Oh, let's put it this way. Let's say KK lives in Maine, has a place on Cape Cod, and has a total estate worth more than 2 million schmackaroonies. Guess what? Even though you're domiciled in Maine, you got the fortune of paying a Massachusetts estate tax. Even though you're not domiciled in Massachusetts, you own property in Massachusetts. Woohoo! Isn't that great? Yes, it is. How fantastic is that, Matt? And it used to be $1 million. They just raised it to $2 million last year. I watched an interesting video where they advise to keep some pre-tax and not convert for late in life because you may have significant healthcare costs and those can be itemized. Eh, maybe you still got RMDs though. That's. I mean, I get that, but you still got RMDs. Okay, I don't. That just seems that you might have significant healthcare costs that could be itemized. That's true. You could, in that case, all right, then you're going to miss out on a tax opportunity. But you had all these other years of tax-free growth. I mean, there's nothing wrong with having tax diversification. The issue is when RMDs kick in, that could make your Social Security subject to tax, which previously it was not, and that's the tax torpedo right there. So when you have required distributions, and it makes your Social Security subject to tax where previously it was not. It's not a dollar for dollar increase in your taxes, your taxable income. It's $1.85 increase in your taxable income for every dollar of RMDs you have. So $1 of required distributions makes your taxable income $1.85 more. It's nuts the way it is. It's insanity, and yet no one's fixing that. So that's the drawback, and the drawback is it hurts the people on the lower end more than because the higher people are already paying the tax anyway. 85% of their Social Security is already being subject to taxation. The lower end people with like a 15,000 or 20,000 RMDs, those are the ones that get crushed on this. 100%. ACAs can be free if your subsidies are more than your premium. Absolutely. We got L Oradin Financial Hierro. Hey guy. The life expectancy age has gone down, not up. That's right. Absolutely. But remember, we got to look at life expectancy for what we can't just look at life expectancy for a baby. That's not relevant to us. We got to look at life expectancy for your age. So I'm 53. What is my life expectancy? I don't have the chart up anymore. You're Liberty, you're 85 years old. You know what I'm saying? You're a boomer. You showed the grit on getting to the moon. So what's the life expectancy for an 85-year-old guy? I don't know. I don't know off the top of my head, but the life expectancy for someone just newborn is completely irrelevant to us. There's David B. Wife and I both have traditional 401ks, doing great in IRAs and HSA. Is it normal she could do the rule of 55? Yeah, absolutely. But again, you're going to have to look at Obamacare stuff. So this is I got to do, probably won't do a course on this, but maybe a book or something like that. But here's my man, David B. He's under the age of 65, so he's not on Medicare. So he's going to get his health insurance from someplace, and presumably it's going to be Obamacare unless he's got it through his work. So if he does the rule of 55, yeah, he doesn't have to pay a penalty on it, but he's got to pull the money out, still got to pay tax on, which could lose his Obamacare premiums. Isn't there a chance that real estate could fall big? Yeah, 100%. There's always a chance that real estate could fall. But I mean, literally, how many times has real estate fallen big? Just other than 2008. And did that fall big everywhere? No, it did not fall big everywhere. My house in Dayton, Virginia did not fall big in 2008. It just did not. How do I know? Because I sold it. We sold it in 2008. It did not fall big. It really depends on the community. You know what I'm saying? And as such, if you're in one of those communities where people weren't putting any money down, they're like a new build where they're just giving loan to anyone who could fog a mirror. Yeah, those people are upside down. That's going to make your real estate fall. That's not like this in my area. I mean, the price has already fallen relative to whatever Zillow or whatever those people are. They said it was here and now it's 100,000 less. Whatever. I don't care. But at the end of the day, that's just the market decline. But I want to say that's falling big. You know what I'm saying? It's not like a 20% decline. The only time we've ever had that kind of instance was in 2006, 7, 8. And that was in specific places: Phoenix, Las Vegas, Miami, Dayton, Virginia, where we lived, didn't have it. You know what I'm saying? I don't know about Indiana, Jill. I don't know, but the vast majority of places it didn't get crushed like that, for sure. George, yeah, right here, is paying ACA $7 a month. Right here, right there's George. He's single. That's exactly how to do it right here. Look at Georgie Porgy, $30,000 a year from his traditional IRA. ACA $7 a month, man, 100%. Maryland's son, when will all American families get it? I don't know, but if you're in Guyana, isn't Venezuela trying to take over Guyana? Yeah, Filipinos are big Catholics. In fact, my friend who I went to go visit in Northern Virginia, I hadn't seen in 23 years, Adam, his wife's Filipino, and they crush. And they go to church, and Adam's not Catholic. but they go to church, and he goes to church with her because he's a good husband. You know what I'm saying? And she's a big Catholic and big Filipino Catholic and whatnot. And and it's just cool, man. They're raising Catholic family. And people I was just talking to today, man. Daughter's been engaged, or I don't know about engaged, but dating some Catholic guys, Irish Catholic guy who goes to Catholic university, and she's the only child. And she says when I'm at home with mom and dad, she's in college, it's quiet. It's just me, the dog, and the mom and dad. When I go to this guy's house, we'll call him Bruce. It's like freaking. They're playing instruments, they're singing, they're praying. It's crazy. I said, yeah, that's the way the old Irish Catholics used to be, man. Used to party like it's 1999, just have fun. Now it's more of the somber Catholicism. Now that's not good, man. I wish the Catholics would not be so somber. Now down in the South, like the church we used to go here, that we still send our kids to church school and whatnot. That's like a freaking model UN down there, and everyone's just like a Baptist choir essentially. It's crazy. The church we went to South Texas, I'd say the majority were Mexican Americans. That place was loud and raucous too. It's fun. You go back to a church in New Jersey when we lived in Haddonfield, Christ the King, which I like, but it's very somber, it just wasn't, it didn't get your body moving. And the most embarrassing thing is when you have some old lady who really wanted to get the congregation fired up, and she started like clapping like this, and it's kind of embarrassing. Like, you know what I'm saying? It was kind of embarrassing. And I was like, yeah, it's not really flying here. But you come down to these places in the South, at least where I'm at, the two places I've been in, South Texas and North Georgia, it's like, man, it's a party. It's great. But I have issues with the church. Let's just put it this way. I have issues. All right. No, libertarianism is not the way to go. No, I used to think so. Absolutely not, dude. Absolutely not. First, the LP, the Libertarian Party, they suck. They horrible. Big BLM supporters, big COVID freaking vax holes. They just suck, dude. The LP just sucks. It's so disappointing in them. And then this idea that I've lost this idea after seeing what's been going on, that the corporations know better, that people will live in harmony with each other. No, we need regulation, we need government, we need private property rights. Like, libertarian is one step from anarchism, and I'm not talking the idiot, freaking Antifa anarchists. That's just dumb. That's just commies. I'm talking real life anarchism, like everyone, like non-aggression treaty and all this, non-aggression principles, and all that. That sounds good in theory, but there's always a guy out there to steal your wife. You know what I'm saying? There's always a guy out there to steal your property. There's always a guy. There's always is, and there's always a guy trying to violate the contracts. You got to have a government to oversee this stuff. There's got to be consequences, and there's got to be people that you got to have some kind of morality legislated. And I used to think not. You say you can't legislate morality. Yes, you can. You can say you can't have sex with underage kids. That's it. If you do, you're going, frankly, you should be strung up. If you're found guilty, we got to make sure you're found guilty first, and we can't just find you guilty in the community, because that's what's going on with Trump. We know why Trump is being not found guilty, but because he's in New York City and Washington, D.C. Same thing with that's not fair. You know what I'm saying? But we got to make sure that we have a criminal process that allows the accused not to be found guilty by a mob. You know what I'm saying? Like the Duke lacrosse guys. Those people want them dead. People at Duke, they want those guys dead. Professors, the whole thing. They want those kids dead, and they didn't do anything wrong. Just because they're rich white kids. You know what I'm saying? They want them dead. And no one got punished. I mean, I know Mike Lafong, whatever his name was, he lost I think he got disbarred, but he should have been freaking sent to jail, that scumbag. Is the DA who prosecuted it. But anyway, at the end of the day, libertarianism it's not. You need a government to police stuff up. You need to have legislate morality. And there is some certain moralities we can all agree on. And when you violate those moralities, zhoops, off you go. Off you go. What's my knock on Kaiser Permanente? No, it's just HMOs. I got no knock on Kaiser Permanente at all. It's all HMOs. And I've been trained by my better half not to like HMOs. So that's my knock. I'm not here to bash Kaiser, not in the least. Please don't take that wrong. If I seem like that, I take that back. I've just been trained. No HMO. It's okay. We don't have any photos or videos of the moon lander. I did see I saw, I still the animation. Ugh. I got the shots. I don't care if one gets them or not, or I'm not for, what I'm saying. But they were trying to do it. I mean, they literally, there were people who wanted to do that and send you to concentration camps and stuff. And those people need to go to jail. I tell you, if you start advocating sending people to concentration camps, legal citizens, if you're here illegally, we should round you up, put you into a camp, make you do forced labor until you leave. If you're here legally, as your old buddy Josh, and someone says you should go to concentration camps, you should go to jail then. How about that? But just do like that. But people are doing it, Andrew, all the time. All the times. Yeah, I went to a libertarian, the most safest place I ever felt was I went to a libertarian meeting in Phoenix, Arizona in 1997. And everybody was armed. It was great. I said, no one's going to come here and shoot this place up. They're not going to get any mass shooter or anything like that coming in here because everybody had a side. It was fantastic. I loved it. Yeah, the right's not really anti-abortion though. They just, they like the money that they get from the anti-abortionists. The right went crazy. I don't think the right. I don't think the right is. The right went. The left was. I actually agree with that. The left used to be rational and safe, legal, safe, and rare. But I don't think the right was ever irrational on abortion. Abortion should be illegal. We can make an argument the first trimester. We can make an argument that, but we got to start with the fact that it should not be allowed after the first 3 months. We start with that. That should be basic common sense, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? And then we can go back to, it should be, and we can make an argument about that. But no one knows. They just have a reaction, and they're dead at home with no explanation. There's my man, Dan. I've been enjoying retirement, calmly looking out the window. No change. Yeah, right on, Dan. That's what you do. Dan Trainer. That's crushing. The science says is a trigger for me, 100%. I voted Democrat for years, but after COVID, I'm third party or no party. Yeah, Simone, after Trump, I'll probably be no party, frankly, after this last election. Because I just don't trust Republicans. I mean, I'm not voting for Democrats, but I don't think, probably shouldn't say anything, but I'm gonna. If I were Democrat, if I were black, and I'm starting to see the more Trump, the Democrats are going to turn on the blacks so fast once they start going on the Trump side. It's going to be so fast because the Democrats know that if the blacks don't vote in mass, they don't win. It's just that simple. So the Democrats have got to push racism to get the blacks to vote. Everybody knows this. And I don't know if you're black, Simone. I don't know. But the minute the blacks don't vote in lockstep with the Democrats, they're going to turn on them so fast, you'll think it's back to being freaking, what's the guy's name? George Wallace. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be crazy how fast they turn on the blacks. They're already doing it, by with their pro-illegal immigration stuff. The blacks have been taken for granted for so long by those guys. And people said the Republicans should do more. What should we do? Enterprise zones, okay. School choice vouchers, okay. It hasn't worked, man. They got to come to us on our goals, which is to say, we want you armed. We want you to have a father in the house. You know what I'm saying? We don't want you to have abortions. We don't think you should be freaking getting jiggy with a woman that's not your wife. Basic stuff. And we need to tell whites this too, by the way. It's not just blacks. Hell, everybody needs to hear this. Just basic moral stuff. And we want to make it so we can get a good job, pay the mortgage, pay your bills, pay the taxes, get schools that are free from violence and idiot teachers. No trans story hour crap. It's crazy. We did that. We did move her closer to me when we lived in Virginia, and that was a nightmare, and I'm not going to do it again. So we did do that. And that was an absolute nightmare. And I don't want to get into it. My sister is useless. A climate change believer. It's just it's just crazy. Yep, we're right. Yep, Matt. Yep, Turtle Boy is doing a live stream right now. All right, I know that. So he's on. Probably watch me a little bit. So it did transmit one photo so far. They admitted to sitting in his side. I'm not the smartest dude, but did do 350,000 Roth conversions in 2020. Whoa. Still doing well on ACA than six. Yeah, dude, 100%. Look at you, dude. You are the smartest guy, 100%. You pre-treat for 5 minutes and shampoo it out. All right. I'm doing that this morning. Use the vinegar first and let it soak in good. Then you can shampoo after. Well, see, so all right. So who would you guys trust? This guy? Look at old Andrew there, or this lady. I think we all know who the answer is. Who would you trust? Trust me. This guy or this lady? Love you, Andrew, but I'm listening to her. Oh man, rinse, repeat. No, look. So Celtic Spirit, who already said, I think he already said he's bald. He's gonna tell me what to do over Angie Madcat, dude. Who look? You don't even have a. We don't even know what you look like, Celtic Spirit. Look at Angie. She looks great. Look at Andrew. He's even good looking. Look at you. We never see what. Like, why would I ever listen to what you say about my hygiene, whatever it's called. My hair, my cosmetology, whatever the hell it's called. All right, here goes. Look at this guy. If you move to another state, Angie, this goes back to if you move to another state, that's a qualifying event. You should be able to sign up before open enrollment. Right on, man. Look at my man. I didn't know that. That's good to know. I voted no for that, but apparently 52% voted yet for the millionaire tax. I'm not sure what the millionaire tax is. Hey, here's Sergio. Sergio's been around for many, many moons, that's for sure. Yeah, Cape Cod. All these people got a state tax. They're gonna be paying a state tax. So if you make more than $1 million, you got to pay a little bit more tax. ACA at $7 and 10 times better than past employer insurance. Look at George. George's brother Ben Roethlisberger. Have you had to actually use it though? Not straight vinegar, Josh. Mix it half with water, leave it on. The vinegar smell will go away when it dries. Shower probably go away too. Yeah, she's already mad at me. Not sure why this time. Oh, you know what it is? Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, she asked me to put the. Oh boy, she asked me to put the linens in the dryer, and I forgot. And this is like the second time I forgot to do something she asked me to do in the last couple of days. I was like, oh, I forgot. And she's not too happy with me right now. So anyway, she's upstairs and hasn't talked. And she hasn't given me a thumbs up on this either. So I keep looking at Facebook thumbs up, waiting to see if she thumbs up me. She hasn't. I'm like, oh boy. So I'm still on the S list, if you know what I'm saying. All right. Any reason not to convert at all or leave it small? Yeah, that's what somebody else was saying. Andrew said you might just leave it in the rest in order to have you can itemize your deductions if you have major health care. I just think that's a big assumption that can happen. And if your RMDs are small enough, then if they're a couple $1,000, that's no big deal. But if your RMD is like $20,000 to $30,000, that could be a big deal for sure. All right, so Liberty says apple cider vinegar will get rid of athlete's foot. Get a 5-gallon bucket, pour a fourth, and soak feet every night for 15 minutes for 5 days. Will be gone. Sweet. That's good to know. I don't have athlete's foot, but that's good to know. Does it do it for any itches? He's no better than a murderer in my eyes. I'm still here to support a brother even when he's wrong. What are you talking about? You guys, who's no better than a murderer? Yeah, Don. Hey, Don. That's why my head is. Yeah, because I keep talking about it. Here's Bo D. Just went to dermatologist. She recommended CLN shampoo for itching scalp. But guess what? Amazon has it, but apple cider vinegar is cheaper. Do retiree medical reimbursements count as income? I don't think they would, Gus Mon, because it's not, you're being reimbursed. So if you're being reimbursed, I don't see how it could be income. I was Larry Slago. I was 11 Bravo in 10th Mountain Division. Bravo Company 187. Were you up there? Larry Slago. That name does not sound familiar to me. What unit were you in? So it's Bravo Company 187. Yeah. Well, and not only Hispanics, but we got a lot of Indians, Haitians, everything coming in. I'm not against immigration. I'm not one of these guys. I am against mass immigration. I'm certainly against illegal immigration for sure. I think it needs to be, slow and steady. I'm okay with that, slow and steady, but it's got to be slow, and we got to say yes, you can come, or no, you can't. Depressed Irish Catholic here. Here's Joshua. Make sure you have your ACA household income correct. If not, they'll make you make up. Yeah, what I'm saying. Much like Bo Slizak, I was born a shake handler, and Pentecostal churches are always fun, and I don't even believe it. Mega churches are the ones that cringe Chris and rock concert. Yeah, I don't like those. But I mean, hey man, if it gets people, to say prayers and look, whatever. I mean, people do what they got to do to liberate themselves from the demons that haunt us all. And it's just a fact. And if that's what it takes, I don't care. All these people like mad at Joel Osteen, I don't care. If the Joel Osteen is preaching that makes people open their books, and trust me, opening your book isn't people say open your Bible. I said, have you actually opened your Bible? Because if you do, you're going to have doubts, and that's good in my opinion. Good to have doubts. You start opening your Bible, say, that doesn't make sense. I wonder if I believe this, and then you're going to be a fork in the road, and you're going to become a firmer believer because you don't have to know everything, or you're going to become a doubter. That's okay. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. People don't need to love God. God loves them anyway. People should love God. Don't be wrong, but He loves us all, regardless of what we do. Yeah, my man George Ben Roethlisberger. He taught me a lot before I pulled the plug this past June of 11 life. Right on, George. You're crushing, man. Hey, Harry. There's Harry right there. All right, pulverizer's out of here. The Libertarian way. No, I get you. The LP sucks. Dale. Oh, I thought I said Dale City, Virginia. That's where my wife is from. Daly City has the highest concentration of Filipinos. I'm a minority at work. Of 60% of our employees are Filipinos. It's already a law, Josh. Yeah, but I mean, I get it's already a law, but it's becoming less and less such. Jill. You know, it's only a matter of time. They're encroaching on this more and more and more. I mean, if you have some kid under the age who's dancing around half naked, getting money for freaking in front of perverts, people need to go to jail for that crap. You can't have this stuff, man. You can't have pornography in schools promoting gay sexual relations. You can't. Oh, you're banning books. You're damn right I'm banning books. 100%. You can't have this. People need to go to jail for this. It's just you can't have this crap. But it's getting further and further now that people are going to say, hey, NAMBLA, that used to be insane. And now I don't know what's going on with NAMBLA. I don't know, but I can only imagine that they're getting more and more street cred every day. Yeah, well, Americans are okay with most things as long as it doesn't affect them. I mean, we're all like that. If it doesn't affect you, you're like, whatever. 65 to 750 is a sweet spot to take full advantage of the standard deduction. An IRA, is that what you're saying? You can agree to legislate morality. We're already doing it. That's the thing. And we'll continue to do it. Kevin says, I want to be an American. I want a nation like Neapolitan ice cream. Every flavor is great. Yeah, as long as we choose the flavors. That's the issue. We have a right to choose who will come here. I'm unvaccinated. Hatred is real. Yeah, 100%, man. John, it was crazy. It was crazy how much I was hated. I was like, why do you care? If the vaccine works, then why would you care if I'm not vaxxed? It's the weirdest thing to me. I don't understand. It's literally, I don't understand it. If the vaccine works, then who cares if I'm vaxxed? It's strange. Well, we need 85% for herd mentality. Then what's the point of the vax if we're doing not herd mentality, herd immunity? But then we're all going to get it, and then we all will have herd immunity. What I literally don't understand that. I've never heard this herd immunity requires everyone getting the vax. It's the weirdest thing. People are nuts. Man, they can all suck. They all suck. See you, Denise. All right. 49 New York City. Watch you all the time. 49 NYC. You're 49 in NYC, and yet you name yourself Philly. So are you a Phillies fan or Flyers fan? Even better. Yeah, I do, don't I, Philly Fox? I rock. I'm crushing it. Yeah, well, there are some good Republicans. At the end of the day, am I absolutely going to abandon the Republican Party? No, because I mean, the bad Republicans will still win if the good Republicans leave. That's what they want. They want us to leave. I mean, the Dan Crenshaws of the world will take over more if the good Republicans leave. And we are making headway. The good Republicans are making headway. That's why the establishment are so nuts. But we got to get rid of, see what they do, though. They threw that guy, the black guy from South Carolina, against Lindsey Graham. We're like, well, Lindsey Graham is bad, but that other guy's even worse. It's like, we should just let the Lindsey Graham go bye-bye. Mitch McConnell, should have let him go bye-bye. You know what I'm saying? Just take a short-term loss to get these people out of there. With that said, the Democratic governor won re-election in Kentucky. Whatever that guy's name, Andy something. Bradshaw or something, I can't remember. Anyway, the point being is you always say, like, oh, we'll lose this time, we'll get him next time. And sometimes you don't. So it is what it is. All right, I think I'm going to get ready out of here. Only one person. Hey, thanks, Billy Fox. Only one person can save you when he's not on this planet, 100%. That's a good Lord, man. All right. My Filipina coworker just got back from El Salvador, as her boyfriend is from there. Lots of Filipinos and Salvadorians here on the San Francisco Peninsula. Oh man, I bet if you took a Filipino and a Salvadorian, mix them together, I bet that'd be one good-looking lady. Can Republican ship stay the course with Trump size? Well, I hope Trump does Trump size the Republican Party, the Republican GOPE. I hope he does capsize the establishment and make it freaking Trump. Recall that back in 1987, George Wallace endorsed Sniffy Joe for the Democratic nomination. Yeah, but by then he had changed. Cosmopolitan feminist contributing writer is now a conservative Catholic. Well, that's like Naomi Wolf. Is that her name? She's a big feminist. She was part of Al Gore's campaign. Remember her? Now I don't know if she's a right winger, but I think she's a pretty Orthodox Jew, right, Jill? Naomi Wolf, who's and look, I got no issues with Orthodox Jews at all. I think the problem with a lot of the Jewish people is they're not Jews. They're just secular. There's an ethnicity, not a religion. We get the same thing with Christians, probably the same thing with Muslims too. People say, "Oh, I'm Christian," but you can. It's like but the Orthodox, they don't problem with it at all, none whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? I think Naomi Wolf was like that, big lib feminist, and now she's gone completely on the other side, and all because of COVID. It's crazy. It's crazy how much COVID opened the eyes of previously leftist people and previously rightist people to recognize we've all kind of. It's like. There's a band called The Defiant, and I think I shared this with you before. It's the singer from Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, the drummer from, what the hell is that band called? There's a guitarist from an old punk band called The Bruisers out of Boston, a couple other bands out of Boston, punk bands. The drummer from the Offspring, and another guy who played bass on pretty well-known rock band. I can't remember what's called off the top of my head. But they all got fired because they wouldn't take the vax, and they started a band called The Defiant. And they're all left wing, in terms of a lot of their stuff. But man, I agree with them on a lot. You know what I'm saying? Just because, just because it's lefty sounding doesn't make it bad. Just because it's righty sounding doesn't make it good. It depends on the basis behind it. Anyway, so they're torn now, and they're kicking ass, and taking names. I love it. And that guy was fired from the Jimmy Kimmel Show. The guy from the Mighty Mighty Boss Tones, he was the voice of the Jimmy Kimmel Show because he wouldn't take the back. All right. Let's consider that Angie has hair. Exactly. I did shave my hair back in the 90s, and I did not look very good. I shaved it. It was complete skinhead. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't a skinhead, but I shaved it like there was no hair there at all. Because I thought I was losing my hair. I said, oh my goodness, I'm losing my hair. I said, if I shave it, it'll grow back. And I guess I was right because I still have my hair 30 years later. But my passport, I was all bald. I went to Peru, my friend Manuel Nunez, and I was all bald. And then I did that for about a year or so, and then I just grew it back to the longest it's ever. And then I grew it back, not long hair, but longer than it's ever been ever, and will ever be again. Yeah, her hair looks much better. Exactly. Yeah, 100%. I'm trying to see what that guy asked me about the. Hey, my man George from West Virginia. Josh is sleeping with a count. 100%, dude. Don't do that to my wife. Don't do what to my wife. You look like me. You're good looking. Yeah. Massage the vinegar into your skull for memory improvement. Yeah. Many times and free drugs. Oh, there you go. George was crushing on his ACA. Right on, man. All right. Yeah, I need to. I gotcha. I need to do laundry video to remember it. Every guy f's up laundry on purpose. I see. That's the thing. I used to do laundry when I was in the army. I had no problem doing the laundry and all that stuff. When I got out of the army, I did all my laundry and all that stuff. So in Charlotte, when we were first living together, I used to do it all the time. And then when we started our kids, she started doing it. So I basically do the dishes. We switch on cooking. I do the dishes, and then she does the laundry. But today she just told me to do it. And I forgot. It's like, oh man! And I just had we just got in a scuffle about me forgetting the other day, and I forgot this. I was like, oh, what an idiot! Big mistake. Big mistake. All right, my friends, I'm gonna get out of here. I'm getting tired. All right, God bless. Where's that guy who said he was in the army, man? Larry something there. I was looking for Larry. The old lady due to VR. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. What is she talking about? I know what she's talking about. What are you talking about, old lady? This old lady. You don't look that old. Clownfish. Now, that's the thing. I take out the garbage. Exactly. Am I dyeing my hair? That's right. Fast Eddie dyeing my hair. Does it look like I'm dyeing my hair, Fast Eddie? On April 8th, 7 planets will be in perfect alignment with Earth. Luke 21:25 will be the sign of Jesus' preceding return. Yeah, Ariana Huffington. Yeah. And she went left with exactly. All right, thanks, guys. Appreciate y'all being here. God bless. I'm gonna get out of here, and hopefully, I will still jab. And I forgot what you said initially, old lady. If you haven't seen it, it's worth a watch. Jab is a show. It's a show. Okay. We will need you in the future as long as I'm still alive, if you know what I'm saying. No, I don't dye my hair, Fast Eddie. Look at this. If I dye my hair, would it look like this? But I am going to do some apple cider vinegar tomorrow. I'll report back to you, see what it's like. It is itchy though. I guess and I don't have dandruff. I guess some of you guys have that, so we'll see how it works. If I look bald, you can blame Andrew and Angie. Blame Andrew and Angie. All right, God bless. We'll see you.